Call of Duty Black Ops 6 isn't just more Call of Duty. It's more just back to its old, much better form. This series has been through just so many changes year after year, and I will admit, most have not really been for the best. Activision has been obsessed with just making these yearly games, taking as much money as they can. I mean, whether the studios are ready for it or not, as evidenced by that really bad MW3 game, I think, that came out last year, which was, by the way, supposed to be an expansion to MW2, but instead they were like, let's get $70 out of people, and people ended up buying it, as usual. Warzone, their real cash cow, has been the moneymaker here, taking us from military simulation skins to these Fortnite anime bubble pop skin things that are just flying around the map. The series is not perfect, and I mean, if you ask me as someone who's played it yearly, it hasn't done too well, but Black Ops 6 is just a really good sign of hopefully good things to come, and it's hopefully a sign to Microsoft, since they own them now, to at least give these guys their time, because when they do have time, they're able to come out with really good games like this one. If you're new to my channel, I do focus on game reviews, news, previews, and tip videos. It has been hectic here with October and November, which is all of these different game releases. I'm focused on getting as many played and as many reviewed as I can. If you like this content, help us out with the subscribe or like. We're about to hit a new channel milestone of about 500 subscribers, and I'm super thankful for you guys that like this type of content and just want to hear me yap about games all day. I'm going to break up this review into 3 segments because there are 3 different parts of the game. First one's going to be the campaign that no one except me plays for some reason. Then multiplayer, which is what we all really buy the game for. And finally, I'm going to talk about zombies, which is actually a really nice surprise. Campaign is one of my sleeper favorite modes in these games. I mean, I always argue that it is too short. And finally, someone over at Treyarch listened to me and made this one about 10 hours long. So it's not too short here, and it's not really too long if you ask me. The story involves you playing as someone named Case, who is a member of the Black Ops division, led by Troy Marshall and Frank Woods, who's now wheelchair bound. The game takes place in 1991, so there's a lot of fun Easter eggs here for anyone that's a history buff, like Saddam Hussein, Bill Clinton, and even Daddy Bush. Black Ops division is hunting down and discovering what this other rogue division is called Pantheon. This leads to some wild things in just Black Ops fashion. I mean, there's a little bit of supernatural and sci-fi that might turn some people off, but to me, without spoiling a lot, I thought it was an awesome addition. The story involves a lot more stealth than usual, but you are able to go loud without failing. So I mean, someone like me who's just asset stealth could just get caught when I'm breaking someone's neck and just pull out my M4 and just take everyone out. It's a great balance between stealth and I think war segments. I mean, you've also got this base that has secrets to unlock. You've got perks that you can add to your campaign character, as well as different guns that you could buy for that actually transfer over to the multiplayer. They even pull a whole Bethesda thing here with the dialogue. I mean, you're able to talk to people, learn more about them. And I mean, it doesn't have that weird, creepy, dull staring look that happens in their games. They've even copied lockpicking here, and it's not annoying or confusing at all. You definitely do feel like a Black Ops agent here with all the technology and the mission style. I had a blast with campaign, and I would honestly rank it as one of the best since Modern Warfare 2019, which, going back to, I mean, I thought that campaign was amazing. I really suggest starting off by just playing campaign because it is a fun experience. Next, I want to move into multiplayer, which is arguably just the meat and potatoes of the game and the reason most of us buy it. You can't talk about multiplayer without the Omni-movement, so I do want to talk about that and get it out of the way first. Omni-movement, despite what I thought before the beta, is honestly fucking awesome. It really just feels like the injection that Call of Duty needed for its multiplayer to switch things up and just have fun again. As a 30-year-old gamer whose reflexes are getting a lot slower, I thought Omni-movement meant I would be getting just absolutely cooked online. I mean, I even subbed to Game Pass to play this one because I was just so unsure about it. Omni-movement is not only just a cool thing, but it's surprisingly balanced. I mean, you can get some really cool clips pulling off these max pain moves against someone that's holding a corner, though. I mean, you are usually dead. You're just going to get instantly shot. Good luck. You can really play a lot smarter than the sweats that are farming those TikTok clips, you know, to try to show off just how good their aim is. So honestly, I found that just holding corners and just playing a lot smarter was the way to go. One thing I do suggest is at least going into the settings, lowering whatever head movement and bobbing was on there, because at first it was really nauseating. Besides that, it's really fun just sliding around everywhere, being able to sprint left and right. You're able to even dive backwards. I mean, It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it really just works when it comes down to actually playing out these multiplayer games. It also works really, really well with the Treyarch style arcadey Call of Duty gameplay. This isn't like Infinity Ward's games, which are a lot more heavier and just realistic. I mean, if you ask me personally, I'm a huge fan of Black Ops 3, and this really just feels like a return back to those days. You've got score streaks now that encourage your teammates to actually do something besides just farm kill streaks. Guns actually feel well balanced besides one AR that I can't remember the name, but I mean, it felt like it was just way too weak to me. It does take a while to level the guns though, so that is a little bit of a grind, but that does also carry over to leveling guns in zombies, which is kind of a fix, but I mean, I'll touch on that later. Maps and spawns are honestly the worst things for me when it comes to multiplayer. I feel like the maps just really aren't memorable, and I mean, most games that you're in, people are voting for the classified map because the two choices they give you are just ass and ass. I'm not sure, guys. I mean, it really just feels like the devs from 10 years ago are still carrying when it comes to Call of Duty maps, because every year they bring back these OG maps and everyone's happy. Spawns, on the other hand, might be the worst spawns in any multiplayer game that I've ever played, literally. I mean, I can't count how many times that I've spawned already getting shot at, or I've had people spawn right with me or instantly behind me, just in 4 or 5 man groups. I mean, spawns flip so randomly on top of that. I mean, I've been in games where I've been able to like spawn camp people, and I've been spawn camped and it just wouldn't flip. It's just something just feels really, really off here. It did feel off in the beta, but it just feels like with all the maps out right now, it's just gotten a lot worse. So hopefully they fix that one ASAP. Other than that, I do like the wild cards that you could put on your classes, which give you more gun attachments, more perks, or more lethals. You've got specialists, which as long as you're using the same perk colors, I think one of them is a little overpowered, like recon, which gives basically wall hacks, letting you see just where people are as soon as you spawn. No idea how that one wasn't nerfed yet, but trust me guys, it looks like it's going to get hit very soon. You've also got old school camo grind back. I mean, all you have to do is get headshots here, nothing crazy. I mean, overall, multiplayer for me has honestly been a lot more fun than I thought. I'm not going to touch on the skill-based matchmaking because I'm really just tired of everyone crying about it. This has been in like 6 Call of Duty games now, and I feel like it's time for everyone to just get over it. You can't play any online multiplayer game and relax, guys. I mean, I dare you to just get on Madden online and just see how tryhard those people are. Everyone, thanks to Twitch streaming, is now a freaking monster at these types of games, abusing whatever the meta is, flying all over the map. I mean, there's even hackers that are trying to get clips. I mean, that's the nature of just online games now. It is competitive. They could possibly solve this with like a ranked mode and an unranked mode, but I really doubt that fixes things because just everyone is a tryhard now. Honestly, everyone is just a freaking tryhard. I had a good balance of games where I was kicking ass, and I also feel like I had a good balance of games that were really, really close, or I was just getting destroyed. My best games were with a team of 6, so honestly, if you have 5 or 6 people to play with, definitely do that so you're not stuck with any of the randoms that you get on your team. But yeah, I mean, if you just want to get on and just cook everybody, either get really good, go pro, or I mean, just play against bots. The game is way too popular and just way too competitive to just dominate lobbies. The last game mode that I want to talk about in the review is Zombies, which for some might be really the best part of the game. Zombies is back to that whole round-based style. The hordes are insane and just overwhelming. There's new zombie spider things that latch on and detach from the zombies. You've got new flying zombie bat things and special units like amalgam or whatever you call it, and a mangler, which is basically a heavy zombie with a laser arm blast thing. I mean, the mode has mystery boxes again for the new weapons. You've got these new things called gobblegums that you can just grab and activate instant abilities like a teleport, which can honestly save your ass. Or these laser things that you could throw on the ground as defense. You can only carry 3 of these, by the way, just to keep it balanced. I think the mode is so much fun with friends. I mean, surviving into those late rounds, I mean, it gets crazy, and just, especially if you're going for those insane Easter eggs, which basically made that mode feel like a Destiny raid, especially on that new huge map, Terminus. There's a storyline that you could do that leads to a couple mini bosses and a really big boss battle at the end, which was honestly just freaking exhausting and really stressful, by the way. This mode is just so much fun with friends, guys. I think it's a nice break from the multiplayer. And I mean, I honestly have friends that are only playing this mode because they're having that much fun in the game. So to wrap up the review, Black Ops 6 seriously does a lot more right than it does wrong. The campaign, at least to me, is a blast. I do like the spy element. I like the sci-fi aspect. I mean, it's even longer, so that's also a good thing. It's definitely worth playing, but I can see how some might not like that whole stealth gameplay, especially if you're kind of just more of a realistic military sim person. One mission, for example, has these different pathways that you could take, like working with the congressman's wife to find, him cheating on his secretary, or basically get through with some mystery man in the coat area. I mean, sneaking into coat check and making your way to the congressman. So you've got a couple different ways of like tackling these missions, which is actually really cool. Multiplayer is also the most fun I've had since Black Ops 3. I think it's fast paced. It feels balanced so far. The Omni-movement is really fun, and I can't see another Call of Duty game without it. I mean, you can master it or play tactically to try to counter it. So, I mean, it works both ways. I think the worst thing when it comes to multiplayer is just how mid the maps are and just how bad the spawns are. Zombies has 2 awesome maps. One is a lot smaller than the other, and I think the other one is the largest in history. The mode is really fun, especially if you got some friends to play with. You can level up guns here. You can grind different types of skins. There's a ton of Easter eggs to find. And I mean, if you really get into it, there's just so much to discover in Zombies and just so many hours to play here. Overall, if it feels like I'm saying a lot of good, it's because I am. I can't find a lot of faults here. And I mean, I'm someone who really hated the direction MW3 went. Treyarch got to take their time with this one, and I think it really shows. Here's hoping we can get better maps that aren't just old school maps, as well as a spawn fix. Black Ops 6 to me is an 8 out of 10, and as long as they don't fuck this up, pay to win guns in the battle pass, I mean, I can see myself playing this one for a while. It's really the best time I've had in a Call of Duty in just so long. Everything I enjoyed about the old games are finally back, like the minimap, score streaks, and specialists. I think the gunplay feels smooth, the graphics are great. I mean, I don't know, guys. I really expected that this would be a little bit like more of the same, but it almost feels fresh and just a little nostalgic for me. I'm really enjoying it, and I would overall say at least give this one a shot on Game Pass. I mean, I think you can sub for like $10 and just see how it is before just like writing it off, especially if you're a Call of Duty fan. I really feel like this has just been like their return to form. Hop on Zombies. I mean, try out the campaign, run a few rounds of multiplayer, and just see how you feel about it. It's currently doing insane numbers, and I think that's for good reason. Let the devs cook and let them take their time with games. I mean, it really helps us all out with a much better experience. If you made it this far, thanks again for stopping by. Let me know what you think of Black Ops 6 in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.